Like most AI-generated videos, they actually start pretty good, but the longer they are, they start to get a bit weird. Like the faces change, the camera movements are not consistent. I didn't want this. What I wanted was AI-generated videos that were longer and consistent throughout the full length. And this is what I'm going to show you today. By the end of this video, you'll be able to generate videos like this one.
很多人问我，这个 SVI Pro 的最重要的功能是什么？那当然就是长视频无劣化的水视频了。连续的运镜和解说是我的最爱，结合通一万像2.2的演出法随，简直就是一路向西呀
！And this one. So in order to use Stable Video Infinity, what we're going to do is that we're going to create a pod in RunPod. We're going to deploy there ComfyUI, and then we're going to set up all the environments and then generate a video. So let's first start going to RunPod. Let's sign in. Make sure that you have some money deposit on it. As you can see, I have around $3. And let's create our ComfyUI pod. So a good thing about RunPod is that they have these pod templates. So if you go here on the left, pod templates, we can search here for the templates, and they already have ComfyUI template with the latest image. So this is perfect for us. So we select it, we're going to configure our pod. So for the GPU, in my case, I'll select RTX 4090. I already tested with it and is very consistent. And the rest we can leave as default. But an important point is that if you're going to download very big models, it's good that you have the space on the pod, because by default, there's only 50 gigabytes. And for this, I'll just show you how to do it. Just click on Edit. And in here, where it says 50, you can increase the size. In our case, we don't need to increase the size because the workflow I tested, it's around 40 gigabytes. So we can go ahead and deploy on demand. So this started deploying our template. As we can see here, we have 3 different services on the pod. So we have this file browser, we're not going to use it. We have the ComfyUI, we see it's not ready. And we have the Jupyter Lab that we're going to use later to set up the environment of ComfyUI exactly like we wanted. Since this ComfyUI is not ready, we can test it. So we can open it, and as we see, bad gateway, so it's not ready. What we can do is that we can open the logs, and we just wait for it to be ready. So we see it's still cloning some dependencies. So when we see this message to go to the graphical user interface, it means that the deployment of the service is complete. So we can go ahead and test it. We go back to the previous service, and we can refresh the page. And we have it. We have the latest version of ComfyUI deployed on RunPod. But now we need to set up the dependencies. For this, we're going to go back to RunPod. We're going to go to Connect, and we're going to open Jupyter Lab. Now that it's open, we can open a terminal. So this terminal is running inside the pod, and we go inside ComfyUI, and we're going to update the virtual environment of ComfyUI with the following. So we're going to use the virtual environment there, and we're going to install these 2 packages. Like these comments, I'll leave them down on the description, as well as the workflows that we're going to use ahead. So the environment is updated. We need now to restart our pod so that ComfyUI actually uses this virtual environment. So let's go back to my pods. We're going to stop it. Yes, we want to stop our pod. And we can start it right away. So let's start. Now, since it's starting, we also need to wait for the ComfyUI to be ready. And we can do the same as before. We go to logs, and we're going to wait for the message that the graphical user interface is ready. And there we go. We have the graphical user interface ready. It means we can go back here to the ComfyUI endpoint. We're going to refresh it. And there we go. We have our ComfyUI with the dependencies that we're going to need. So next step is to install our custom nodes that we're going to use on our workflows. For this, click on Manager, Custom Nodes Manager, and we're going to install the following. So first, we're going to install KJ nodes. Normally, it should already be installed on the latest version of ComfyUI, but let's make sure that's updated. So we're going to click Try Update. So it's telling us that we need to restart, but we're not going to restart it just yet because we still need to install 2 other packages. So the next package is called Video Helper Suite. So this package has a node that we're going to use on the workflow to concatenate all the videos at the end. So we're going to install it. We select the latest version. And again, it's telling us to restart. There's one last package that we need to install, and this Hugging Face downloader. We're going to use one of the nodes to download the models to the pod instead of doing it manually. So we're going to install it. Yes, we're going to use the nightly version. So it's installed, and now we can go ahead and restart. So let's restart. So it's confirming if we want to restart the server. So we confirm. So it's reconnecting, and after it reconnects, it's going to ask us to refresh the page, and we're going to do that. So there we go. We have the message to confirm that we want to refresh the browser since we restarted the server. So we're going to refresh it. And this part is done. We can now go ahead and start importing our workflows. So we can go here on the menu, File, Open, and we select our workflow. So this workflow will be on the description. Since this workflow uses different models, we already have a message here mentioning that one model is missing. So it's not the only model that's going to be missing, but it already helps us. One important thing that you have to be careful here is that you don't want to download, because this will download locally for your machine. You want to download to the pod. So we click Download to the pod, and it should take just a few minutes to do this. So the download is complete. You can go ahead and close. So we have our workflow. So first, I'm going to explain you how it works. So we need first to select the first frame. So we can go here and choose the file to upload. In my case, I'm going to use this image of a man front face to the camera. Then we have the settings for the video resolution. So in this case, we have 640 by 640. And if the image doesn't have this ratio, it will crop the image. After this, we have the first description for the action that we want on the video. So in here, we can put the person slowly raises their right arm until it's pointing straight up to the ceiling. After this, we have the next scene. And we can put the person lowers their right arm back to their side and simultaneously lifts their foot off the ground. And for the last one, we can put the person places their foot back down and slowly tilts their head to their right shoulder. And after this, we have our node that combines everything. So everything seems to be ready, but when I run the workflow, there's going to be an error. So there we have it. Not everything is ready. We are missing our models and our LoRa's. So to fix this, there's multiple solutions. You can download them manually. You can go on Jupyter Lab and drag and drop them on the folder. I'm going to show you the best solution that I found that makes this so much easier to do and replicate every time you use it. So the first thing that we're going to do is that we're going to open the models here. And we can see when we open LoRa's, there's nothing, there's 0. Even if we go to the models, the diffusion models is also 0. So we're going to do the following. We're going to create a different workflow. We're going to go to Nodes, and we're going to use the Hugging Face downloader model. So there we have it. Let's first download one of the LoRa's that was missing. So I already have here Hugging Face on the correct repository with the file. So the file is this one. So we click here. On the download button, right-click and copy link address. We go back and we can just paste it here, and that's it. And to run this, let's open the console so we can see the logs. You can either click this blue button here, or you can click here on top if you have multiple ones. So I'm going to click the similar one. So it started, the run download. And when we see prompt executed, it means it finished. So if we go back to the models here and we refresh our LoRa's, so let's even refresh everything, we can see we have here the LoRa just downloaded. In order to make this easier for you, I already created a workflow that downloads all the models and the LoRa's and everything that's needed to the right folders. So for this, I'm just going to, like before, open the workflow. Here we have it. I go download files, and it will download the LoRa's, the diffusion models, everything that's needed for this. So we can go ahead and run here on top to run all these nodes. And we can look here on the terminal like before, the progress as this runs. And there we have it. We have the message that the prompt was executed, and this means that the files were all downloaded. So we can go here to the left to models, and we can load all the folders. And we can see that now we have here the LoRa's, we have the VAE, and if we go to diffusion models, we also have our models. So everything is ready. Going back to our main workflow, we can go ahead and run it again, and we can see it's actually started to run. We can open the terminal, click here on the console on the left side, and we can see that it's actually started to run. So let's wait for it to run and let's see the final result. So we see here the prompt executed, meaning that everything ran. And we can go here, can zoom in, and we have here our video. So the man is going to lift his arm, then he's going to lift his leg, and then he's going to tilt his head. So lift his arm, he's lifting his leg, and then he's going to tilt his head. We can also go here on the assets, and we have access to the same video generated, and we can download it locally. So this is how you generate the video. But what if you want to generate a longer video? How to do this? So it's pretty simple. Let's just close this. Let's make a bit of space here between these nodes. And we just need to do the following. So click on Commands, just select the last one, and we can duplicate it. So I have duplicated it, and we just need to connect the following. So we have the extended image here. We're going to connect to the previous images, and the samples, we're going to connect to the previous samples. We're also going to need to go here, and we're going to connect the extended images back to here, and that's it. Other than this, you just need to change the prompt, so it's not the same as before. In here, we have the person brings their head back to the center and raises both arms out to the sides to form a T shape. Let's go ahead and run this again. I'll open the console so we see the progress. And there we have it. We have our message that's saying the prompt was executed, meaning the workflow finished. And we have here our latest video. So on this video, we saw how to generate these long-form videos that are consistent throughout the whole video. So we used RunPod, we used ComfyUI, and we used Stable Video Infinity, and we managed to generate these long videos. If you like this kind of videos, go ahead and like and subscribe. And if you have an idea of tutorial that you want me to explain, go ahead and leave it on the comments, and I'll do it on the next video. Other than that, I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.